Hi guys! In today's video, I'm going to be adding too much of things into slime and I really hope that you enjoy it. First up, we're going to be adding too much hair dye, and this was really exciting for me because I've never dyed my hair, so I don't know the process, so this was as much of a learning experience for me as it is for you guys probably watching it. And I noticed that the colour cream wasn't coloured. This is probably really common. I bought a purple hair dye, I think it was, so when I was mixing it all in, I was just like, where's the purple one? And lightly, it became purple, and after stirring it for about 5 minutes, it turned into a more deepened colour, so I decided to activate it at this point, and as you can see, I added a bit more than usual, but really not very much, and it became so rubber. I couldn't stir this. It was so hard from the inside out. I didn't want to touch it either, just in case my hands got dyed with hair dye, and when I left it for 5 minutes, I noticed it had darkened, so I was like, what happens when I leave this overnight? And let me tell you, this slime is unrecognizable. It's so deep. It was the color on the packet, so I was happy this happened, but also so confused. I asked everyone on Instagram what you wanted me to add too much of into slime, and people said Earpods. Obviously, I can't afford the Apple ones because they are really expensive, so I decided to just buy some £2 ones that I found on a street market, and I decided to buy a load of them, so it did actually end up being quite expensive, and when I mixed it up, it wasn't particularly fun to play with. I was really hoping that this was going to be crunchy, or like, I don't know, just really good, and it wasn't good. It was so long in the earbuds. I think it's because they're the fake ones. Obviously, I wouldn't mix the real ones in, but yeah, I didn't really like this slime. I was just flexing. Another thing that was super highly requested was gold leaves into jiggly slime, and I think this is one of those ones that's just really satisfying to watch more than anything, but it actually had a really interesting outcome. So when I was adding the gold leaves in, at first it didn't do anything for the texture. It maybe made the slime a tiny bit less sticky. This is the jiggly slime I've used before, and with water slimes they just kind of leave a residue, and it turned very pretty, but I did notice it was turning more turquoisey green, and with the colours that were initially in there, the pink and the blue, it should have been more purple. So I was wondering if this process was kind of like sped up, because if you guys don't know, gold leaf does kind of rust, and because this is a water slime, I think this was rusting it quicker. Next up, we're going to be adding too much rice, and I was really nervous to do this because anytime I add food, it always melts, and especially in your body, like white rice turns to sugar, so I was just thinking in my head, the slime is going to melt on my table, so I put aside like 2 hours to do this, and it was actually really great. It was probably one of my favourite slimes I've ever made. The texture was really similar to that of a sugar scrub, or like, not a fishbowl, it's more like textured than that, but it's also really not hard in your hands and it doesn't hurt, and it held so well in the slime. I find that a lot of like weird items tend to fall out, or they just don't do what they're supposed to do, but as you can see, this just looks like a Rice Krispie snack almost. It was so creamy, so nice, and when it drizzled, it was like, you can see how little slime there is, but it was so crunchy, and oh my goodness, I'm just gonna let you listen to the sounds of this one. It does the talking for itself. I feel like every time I leave the house now, I'm looking for cool items to add into slime, and when I was in Lush, I found this shower jelly, and I thought how much it looked like slime. So, you know what I did? I bought it for this video, and it was really fun to add in. The first thing I noticed was that around the base where the slime was, it definitely melted it down, and at first I thought it was kind of just so heavy that it was making an indent in it, but it really wasn't. It was so sticky when I was touching it. But the end result actually ended up really pretty. It turned into a kind of like medium blue with loads of galaxy glitters in there, so it was really fun to play with, but the texture of it was horrible. So I decided to add some really nice bath salts, and for this I was kind of curious to see what would happen because normal salt in slime melts it down. So for bath salt, I was really surprised to see it kind of made it lumpy and almost activated it. I don't know if this has like bicarbonate of soda in it like the activators in slime do, but this really pulled everything together again. But I noticed it started leaking with water. As you can see around the edges, it's just kind of, ugh, gross, isn't it? But I added some shower gel. It didn't do anything. I wish I could say it fixed it. As you can see, it didn't. It all looked like a big shower jelly in the end. But you know what? It was fun. Glow bracelets have been one that I've wanted to try for a while, but I'm also really scared because when I was younger, I was told that if it leaked on you, you're gonna get bad consequences. And so I was extra careful with this and wore some gloves. And the first thing I noticed was that when I was cutting it open, it was so tough. I was trying to look cool and just like cut through it at the same time, but that didn't work. And then it was also really hard to get the things out. I found that when I just let them kind of sit after trying to get them out, they would come out so easily. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with air pressure, but it just came out looking like highlighters. But I was so confident in my results and I thought it was going to become a glowy slime, and you know what, it didn't become a glowy slime, it just stayed like that. So I think there must be something in the outer part of the stick that makes it glow, because this is the result I got. Last but not least, we're going to be adding tea to slime, and I was so intrigued by this actually, because I thought tea is going to be like a teapot and it's going to infuse into slime, and we're going to have a new like method of scenting and colouring it. And it did scent and colour it, but it also melted it so much. And as you can see here, I just thought it was fully melted, and then I noticed on the top layer that had not been touching the slime was full on slime. But then the moment you mixed it in, it just melted again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe, and I'll see you next week.